Oh man, it happened. TikTok is gone. Man, if you're an avid fan of TikTok like I am, this could be a nightmare or maybe a blessing in disguise. When I originally recorded this video, the TikTok ban was supposed to take place at 8:30 p.m., but instead it got pushed back to 10:30. This was the original live countdown that I was doing up until 8:30. Take a look, check it out. Everything I say in here, even though the ban didn't take place at that moment, is relevant. You should definitely try to take time to shore yourself up to make sure that you're not affected when these type of things happen in the future. Take a look at the video. I'll be back here in a few seconds to explain what happened. All right, guys, welcome back. This is Andre with AndreReese.Biz, Tax Accounting, Retail, and Life Services LLC. Thanks, guys, for joining me again here on the TikTok Countdown. And, of course, with me being with AndreReese.Biz, Tax Accounting, Retail, Life Services LLC, which is always a mouthful, we offer tailored tax and accounting solutions for our clients all over the United States. We're always accepting new clients. And as you guys know, I was born with a magical gift. That's right. I'm able to see tax deductions and business opportunities no matter where I look in this world. I can travel here, I can travel there, I can travel up, I can travel down. No matter where I go, I'm able to find these tax deductions and business opportunities. I always have a very unique way of sharing that information with you guys. So make sure you guys subscribe to me on all the social channels. That way you can keep up and abreast of what I find around the world. You can always book a consultation. I'm here to help you if you decide you want to go ahead and grow your business and take it to the next level. You need accounting or tax advice, whatever it might be. I'm here. I'm your guy here definitely to help you guys for sure. And remember, I have a tendency to go off into pontification left field. And anything I say here, really for the most part, everything is included under this blanket statement, just for educational purposes only. If we don't have a relationship, don't rely upon what I'm talking about. It's just really for academic purposes only. If you guys want to get a more tailored approach to your life and be able to get better recommendations, go ahead and make sure you book a consultation with me at AndreReese.Biz, and be sure, of course, to go ahead and like and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate that. So, like I said, I'm here right now. It's 8:24. Actually 8:25 here on my clock on my cell phone, and I've got that right here, and I've got my For You feed rolling live. And so I wanted to just, this is a very historic moment, and there's a lot of stuff that we can really learn here from being dependent upon TikTok, having a business on TikTok. And I want to kind of talk about those things. But in the meantime, at least I want to just go ahead and just count down this moment. And they say that at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time, that TikTok will go black here in the United States. It will go ahead and yank and pull the plug on all the servers, and everything will go dark. And so that's on January 18th at 2025. 8:30 p.m. So right now we're already up to about 8:26. So I want to just kind of be here with you guys and see if this actually happens. So let's hope it doesn't. But right now, the way everything is situated, the president and CEO of TikTok does not have any type of assurance, last I checked, that they are going to be able to continue to operate. Because from what I've understand is that there will be a fine for all technology companies that are involved in the distribution and maintenance of TikTok, the servers, etc. And it can be a fine of roughly $5,500 a day, multiplied out by 170 million users of TikTok here in the U.S. And if you do the math on that, it's close to $1 trillion. I don't know if I'm willing to risk my company hosting TikTok, and having to pay that fine, so they haven't received necessarily a guarantee from the government that they can stand on and know that if they continue to operate the service, that they won't be subject to having to pay that fine. Anything above and beyond just, lip service, so to speak. So here we go. We're down to 8 minutes and 27 seconds. So I'm just going to go ahead and just bring up my phone here. And so I'll tell you, I think a lot of you guys, if you've been using TikTok, you're going to find Jubal, his morning shows, and all the little prank calls and stuff that they do. They're like all over the place right now. I've enjoyed listening to hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of these. So I'm just kind of going through my feed here, and we're getting close to about 8:28. And these are all the people that are doing the TikTok shop stuff. So, yep. Hopefully these people will still be able to continue on. Let's see, we're down to, where are we at right now? Still about 2 minutes out from seeing if this actually goes into effect. And I'll tell you, this guy is talking about, in a lot of these outro videos about TikTok, being shut down. I saw the creators are just incredible. I saw one today where this one guy was talking to the Chinese spy in China that's been following his account, and he's playing the song from Fast and Furious, which they're very famous for. And in the distance, you can see as they panned around, the guy standing on top of a mountain and got the sunset going on. And then his spy actually has a whole array of televisions that are showing multiple angles and things that he's doing. And he decides he wants to speak to the guy and say, "Hey, I'm so sorry. You were there for me when nobody else was." So here we are. We're at 8:29, and we'll see if everything shuts off. A lot of people are streaming live right now.
After January 19th. Make sure to buy this from TikTok Shop.
Places you could be for this last potential minute, maybe. They're here, so thank you.
So these guys are streaming live. They're thanking folks that have been down with them for a long time. So it's 8:30 right now on my phone. So let's see what happens in the next minute here.
So I'm an IRL live stream us using TikTok while we in the UK.
Even Keith Lee is talking about the ban.
Are you scrolling instead of sleeping again?
Ready to take your martial arts journey to...
What's up, TikTok? Look, we're back. I got to do another video. Here's a conversation I had with...
This is one of my favorite guys here, right here, calling with what is it, a Murphy Jets? I love watching his stuff.
Okay, TikTok is still in the App Store. Okay, great. Oh, Harmona, you know what?
A lot of people still
Life is full of fear.
live streaming.
I was told.
How do you know about this show? You don't know.
This guy, Nate Jackson, he is just so funny. He just sits on a stool and goes live and just talks about people in the audience for various reasons. I can't wait till he comes out here to RVA. I want to go see him for sure.
Back in 2016, when the mainstream propaganda machine all of a sudden decided that DJT was a racist,
Yep.
Donald J.
Rock University.
So, and this is, I guess a lot of people are switching over to Red Note. This thing here is to show you and teach you how to speak the language and translate it. So I don't know. We're at 8:32. Nothing has happened Eastern time.
So, Jason Parchin recently posted this video. Okay, the aliens are here.
You guys have shared 8 job boards that you
Even as we're debating, TikTok users are flocking to a Chinese app with no reported presence in the United States. That's what's happening in our country right now. So it's time to take a breath, try to step back, buy some time. How are you?
Well, who's the other person? Oh,
Kendra G.
this person. What's going on, TikTok?
Dating show.
Why our phone is unlocked and
Excuse me. What is this?
Before bed, my kids requested a glass of...
Okay, I still don't see, looks like it's still going.
8:30, we made it. This feels like the Hunger Games, kind of, but I don't have to like really do any physical work. I just have. It's Greg Brian Monkey. Greg B. Monkey is his full name. This was really anticlimactic, wasn't it? I thought I would get on live one more time just because I don't know how to say in videos like how appreciative I am of the things that have happened to me because of TikTok, and like every single person who is, please do YouTube or Reno. I'd love to still see her. Okay, I am gonna be on YouTube. I actually just bought a camera. I'm going on vacation in like the next couple months, and I just bought I bought a camera to like bring along, and I think that'll be like a vlogging camera as well. I also am a big video game person, and I used to stream on Twitch, and I think that now that if TikTok is going away, I'd love to be streaming on Twitch, but it's just a ZV-1. I bought the Sony ZV-1. It's like literally the vlogging camera. So Facebook has created a TikTok account.
Yeah, so it looks like it's still.
Hey, Jeffrey and Alexis, and everyone keeps saying that Trump is going to save TikTok. Does he have the power to do anything to save TikTok?
Not right now.
when you're annoying friend.
So, okay, I guess it's still here. This guy here is doing the final countdown also.
Walmart is filled with cheap stuff from China.
Excuse me.
Millions of Americans are about to get.
Okay.
Most people think it's impossible.
Here's how to change the language up.
Okay, well, it looks like at this point right now, I'm going to go ahead and just mute the sound here. But it looks like TikTok is still here for now. But the reason why I wanted to do this video is if it was gone, it may be gone soon. It may be gone later on today. It may not leave at all. But I think there's a lot of stuff that we can really learn here if you kind of look at this in a business perspective. So if it was gone, it would be very, very tough and very difficult. I think a lot of people still right now are on pins and needles. But, ultimately, I myself personally, I love TikTok. So I've done a lot of videos. If you ever want to follow me, if this happens to stay on, you can always find me at AndreReese.Biz. There's a lot of content that I did on TikTok that I didn't do on any other platform. And so I've had I think probably the largest video, at some point I think I took it down, was probably close to 30,000 views. And the way everything worked on TikTok with the algorithm, it was just incredible, about how it would push content out to people and you would get tons of likes. And I'll tell you, if you use Facebook nowadays, if you use Instagram, it's almost like pay per play. You won't be able to reach out and hit people unless your stuff is super virally. But if you're just an ordinary individual trying to create content, it's very hard to kind of push past that, that ceiling and bust through. But like I said, TikTok for me has been a very meaningful platform. It's always, recently at least, has been a primary source of news, education, opinions, and entertainment. And whatever you're interested in, a good example like the election we just went through, there was so much news, there was so much content, there were so many opinions, there was so much entertainment that was related to TikTok that you would find on TikTok that you can, if you're open-minded, you can see all sides of the story from all different angles and really turn around and make an educated opinion on what's happening. You can see where you're being politically gaslit and where you were potentially being led astray. That stuff was easy to find and see when you were on TikTok. And I'll tell you, the algorithm that they use, it's better than any other. I think that probably the closest one after that is YouTube. With TikTok, it always fed me content that I wanted to watch. And so somehow, some way, different things that I would want to see, different things that I would want to watch or learn about. I can find the content on there, and actually it would find me, and I would spend a lot of time following people, watching their content, going up and down their productions that they've produced, and just watching stuff and just being caught up in watching things that I really, really want to watch. So I really appreciated that about the app. It was also fantastic to be able to follow current events. And as I mentioned, and I'm just looking real quick to see if the app is still going. Yeah, it's still going. So, yeah, still going. All right, nothing's changed here. Just a real quick check real quick. But like I said, with the election, I was able to see all sides of the story, and then there were so many things that were happening on TikTok that people were talking about, sometimes as much as a week in advance, that they would hit before they would actually hit the mainstream media. So, and I'll tell you, if something's happening right now and you want to see what's going on, you go to Twitter, you go to X, but if you want to see things that are happening in a bigger perspective, and you can go watch those things on TikTok. So I think each one has its own relevancy when it comes to being able to deliver content to you. But I was able to spend quite a bit of time just watching TikTok and getting information, and then it would blow up in the news, and sometimes I would tell different people about it. Hey, found it on TikTok. And then next thing you know, a week later, a week and a half later, it's in the mainstream news. And I tell people, hey, I know what you hear. You should still consider, getting yourself at least a TikTok account to be able to watch the content itself. And so the sad part about all this, if they do go off the air, it's going to significantly hurt a lot of people. Right now, they say there's roughly about 170 million people in the United States that use TikTok. And there's probably a significant number, even if we say, 10% of those people are active participants of creating content on TikTok, then there's probably half of that 10% that are people that are actually getting monetized and selling things through the TikTok shop, or they've getting enough views where they're able to receive, some of the money that TikTok, pays out. And it's so the sad part is you'll be seeing people that have built a business out of being on TikTok, just being themselves. I don't know how many people that there's an example of a guy that worked for one of the landfills. He just set up a camera and he would just live stream as he was driving back and forth over the trash. I saw another guy that was, he was taking coal out of train cars and just live streaming his day. There's so many examples of that where you get a chance to be able to stand to sit where you are and be able to see what's going on in somebody else's life and potentially see what their job is or what the type of things that they have to deal with. I don't know how many times I sat there and watched people that were working at UPS unloading trailers. At one point in my life, I did that for almost 4 years, and I probably spent 5 or 6 hours while I was working just watching this one girl that was doing trailer unloading, listening to her commentary, watching what she was doing, the different techniques, because those kind of things are very, very interesting. And so that's the sad part, that those kind of things like that are all going to be leaving, along with a lot of the people that were doing these things. Like I said, they were making a significant living. They were able to feed families. If you were a retailer of some sort and you were selling things on the TikTok shop, you may have hired people and you were feeding families. And so if TikTok leaves and it's gone, it's essentially a light switch moment. And just like that, flick, all that stuff is gone, And so as a result, people before this, they are now flocking to an app that's in the App Store that really has nothing to do with the United States. I think it's all in Mandarin. It's the Red Note app, and it's the #1 downloaded app right now in the App Store. And a lot of people are posting about this app, talking about that they're learning Mandarin, and they're using their social security number as their as their screen name, and inviting, the people in China to come and steal their information. So it's kind of like a slapping away back and kind of rebelling against what a lot of people feel right now was the reason for banning TikTok in the first place. So it's a battle amongst government and the people, and I'm not here to kind of get in the middle of those. And so because the ban may potentially happen, there's a lot of lessons that a lot of us can learn here from this. And so the thing is, if you are a business owner, if you don't have full control of your product, and what is a business owner? A business owner is somebody that works independently to raise revenue, and they claim all the revenue, and they are able to claim all of their expenses against the revenue, and they pay tax on the net difference. That's a business owner. You don't have to be a corporation. You don't have to be a partnership. You don't have to be anything formally registered. Just a simple fact that you earn revenue independently and you deduct your expenses against the revenue and you pay tax on the difference, that makes you a business. And so all the different people that have been, that are using TikTok as a platform, they don't necessarily have control over their product. If they can produce the product, but they're relying upon the distribution that you're going to get from the TikTok system. And if that system is no longer available, they are no longer receiving revenue. So that's the thing is, if you don't have full control of your product, ultimately you may not really have a business, because somebody else controls that completely. And I'll tell you, if you sell on Amazon, if you sell on eBay, you sell on Poshmark, you drive Uber, you drive Lyft, you're a gig worker for DoorDash, whatever it might be, you're always a few bad reviews away from being deplatformed. It happens, and so I know when I was selling on Amazon, probably at least 6 years ago or so, or when I first started selling on Amazon, I got suspended, and I ended up having to hire an attorney to get my account back. It was expensive to be able to do that. And now Amazon, because of all the theft that's been taking place all over the U.S. and people are stealing goods and they're reselling them online on different platforms, the tolerance that you're going to find now from any retailer that is selling products on behalf of somebody else is near zero. And so I still follow a number of different forums now with Amazon where folks that are on there, they lose their accounts. And some people have $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 worth of revenue. Because once you sign up with Amazon, they do payouts usually typically once a week or once every 2 weeks. And so if you buy a product, you buy revenue, you sell it, Amazon holds your money, then they do the payout, and then you receive it, and you're able to use it for whatever you want to use it for. But if Amazon decides at some point they want to hold your $400,000 and then they determine that you violated terms of service and they end up keeping that money, it can absolutely cripple you, and it does. And if you've gone and spent hundreds of thousands of dollars, even tens of thousands of dollars or thousands of dollars on product that you send into Amazon, and then they kill those listings, or they say that there's something that you've done like a Section 3 violation where you've messed with the integrity of the platform, they could take all your product and destroy it. And there's nothing you can do about it at all. And so when you try to build your business on these platforms that are ran by algorithms, and they get triggered, you can easily lose your account and you can lose your ability to sell. And on a more friendly platform, something like eBay, you're just a few bad reviews away from potentially losing your ability to sell on eBay. It happens. It happens to a number of different people. And if you drive DoorDash, if you have a number of people that turn around and say, hey, the food, somebody delivered my cheeseburger and they took a bite out of it, because they're trying to get free food or whatever it might be, or you didn't deliver the food to my door, it doesn't take long before you're banned from being on those platforms. So are you really truly a business owner in those type of situations? No, you're not, because you're really dependent upon somebody else to do all the work for you as far as finding the clients and the customers, and then you're supposed to reap a reward, from having the ability to utilize their platform. And this is something I think about all the time, because I do sell on eBay, and I have roughly 4,000 items that are listed for sale, and I get regular sales all the time. I don't necessarily have a backup plan if something happens with my eBay store. In my mind, I know that if I lose my ability to sell on eBay, there's not really any other platform that I can sell on to be able to sell the type of things that I sell. Because a lot of stuff I sell are all long tail items where they're not popular and they're limited in supply. And so people at some point will come along and buy those at a higher price. That's what I specialize in selling. So if something ever did happen to my store and I lost the ability to sell, my exit plan that I've already thought through is I'm going to sell my entire content. That's it. So I'll turn around and sell all my store and probably take a loss, but I'll take a lump sum of money and I'll just be done with selling online. I'm not going to take the stuff and start a store, physical storefront. And it's no way that I can sell what I sell now on other platforms. So eBay is really it, but that's kind of what I keep in my mind, you know. And so this is no different than if you are an individual that works at a W-2 company. You know, at some point they decide in the back room that they're going to want to go ahead and, let me just check TikTok real quick just to make sure, see if it's still going. Yep, TikTok is still going. So I know a lot of people right now are breathing sighs of relief, but these are things that you should think about now that at least this particular thing was put out into the ether, that the potential of you losing your revenue stream is really real. And so to get back, when it comes to working for a W-2 company, it doesn't take much for them to decide at some point they want to get rid of you. So you can wake up one morning, get dressed, drive into work, and then by the time you get ready to have your morning coffee, you can be called into the conference room, and then there's your manager with the sad look on his face, and then there's somebody from HR with a packet of documents, and they're saying, hey, due to blah, 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 and what's good for the business, we're going to go ahead and eliminate your position, and here's what we're going to give you. There's not much you can really do at that individual point. So depending on what the economy's doing, if the economy's bad, it's going to take a long time to find a job. If the economy's doing real well and this thing happened, it may be a blessing. So this is no different than having to deal with the TikTok ban as anybody that would work for a W-2 employer would have to deal with. And so what can you do on your end to better be prepared? So the only thing you can do is diversify. You have to make sure that you don't depend just on one stream of income. So when it comes to the tax practice, I have complete control over the tax practice. So I bring the clients in, I do all the work, I push out the final product to the clients. And if whatever reason the software company I have right now decides that they no longer want to have me use their software, which is doubtful because why would anybody do that? But let's say they did, I can go to another software company. My stuff is all hosted on servers. I do regular and backups to be able to have access to my data. So if one of the companies goes out of business or they decide to disappear, I can quickly and immediately recover and keep it going. So I control that product. But when it comes to eBay, all the stuff I have right now, I'm relying upon the platform to continue to go, and then for the platform to continue to allow me to sell on there. And so I have a larger amount of risk when it comes to that individual platform, but I have diversified income. I have income that comes in from tax prep. I have income that comes in from bookkeeping. I have income that comes in from consultations. Plus I also have income that comes in from retail. So I've got a few different streams of income that's coming in. So I would recommend you guys do the same. You want to also have, whenever you hear a warning off in the distance, they've been talking about this TikTok ban for, it seems like, several years. And so what people should have been doing along the way is not relying just solely on TikTok. They should also have been working on building their presence on other platforms. So if you're making social content, there's not really any way to completely control it yourself. You're going to have to rely upon where the people and the eyeballs go. So you want to also make sure that you're on Facebook, Instagram, you're monetized on those, you're on YouTube, making the content, long form content that they prefer to have. Then you also do TikTok and maybe others, so you want to try to diversify, as much as possible when it comes to those type of things. And like I said, when you are heeding the warnings about something coming down the pipe, you want to just work on your diversification and just come up with an action plan and think of the worst case scenario and try to put controls and procedures into place that will help mitigate those things and soften the blow. And then, of course, you want to also, in order to try to be prepared, you want to try to control your pipeline as much as possible, which is the creation, the distribution, and then the final consumption of whatever product that you create. So if you can control all three of those items, then you'll be able to be a lot more successful, and you'll be able to guarantee that you'll have a continuing product as long as there's a demand for it. But if you don't control the creation, you rely on somebody else to create the product, and they decide they don't want to do it anymore, you can't distribute it, and you can't have the consumer consume it. If you create the product and the distributor, which is the platform, decides they want to go out of business, then you're not going to have anybody consuming your product. So you want to try to take care of that as much as possible. And then the other thing you want to do is and just like I said, focus on trying to find as much way to control everything as possible. And if you have to rely on others, it's okay, but try to at least mitigate those potential losses as much as possible. And then, of course, you want to always choose your business wisely. So some businesses are designed to function solely. Other ones are relying upon a lot of other systems and procedures to be able to keep you going. If you're looking at a franchise, for example, you have to follow what they say. You have to be able to do all the procedures, buy from their distributors that they require you to, so you have a lot less control. If something happens with the corporate office where they go out of business, it's definitely going to affect your franchise also as well. So you want to try to choose which way you decide to go. And then most importantly, I can't tell you the number of clients that I've talked to over the years that may come into a little nest egg of money, and they've been wanting to start a business, and they're like, I'm out of here. I hate my job. It's not fulfilling. It's not making me feel good about myself. I don't enjoy it. So I'm going to quit my job and put all my energy and effort into trying to build this business. I'll tell you what, that's almost a guaranteed failure. Most businesses, when they start, it's very difficult to get people to do business with you. So I've had clients over the years that have been doing great things, and then they decide to go out on their own and do something very, very similar to what they were doing in the W-2 world. And the clients that say that they want to come and deal with them in the future when they start their own thing, they don't come. They don't come at all. And so you're stuck scrambling, burning all through your the money that you have, your nest egg that you've built up, and then at some point you become very, very desperate. And it's very hard and very difficult to be able to deal with that type of stuff. And so, don't quit your day job. Make sure if you have to work 80, 90, 100 hours a week between your business and your day job, find a way to make it happen, but don't quit your job until it's not revenue that drives you, because you can bring in revenue, you can spend money and not have anything left over. You have to be able to have enough net profit left over after you pay taxes to be able to sustain your life. And if you can't do that, you're going to want to stay with your day job. Now, if you have a spouse that you are yoked up with that has a significant amount of income and they can carry you in the meantime while you build your business, that's like the most incredible situation that you can be involved in. But, think things through and don't make any harsh decisions. And then you can always turn around and monetize your hobbies. If you play an instrument, there's no reason why you can't go and sit up on the streets of a busy area and play the violin and have a little bucket where people throw money into it, especially if it's outside of a concert hall where they do the symphony or whatever it might be. You can also join bands. You can play live music for weddings, whatever it might be. If you have these skills, you should utilize to try to make money off of them as much as possible. And if you love being a DJ, you love playing music, you can always become a DJ for weddings and events, photography, whatever it might be. You can take and monetize these hobbies. If you're an excellent singer, you love singing, you can always sing with a band and play for money, do cover songs. You can also do weddings, etc. There's a lot of money in weddings, and even something as simple as, interior decorating. If you have a home, you've taken the time to really nicely decorate it, let other people know that you can do it for them. You can charge a fee. And so a lot of the better businesses that you can do, in my opinion, are going to be service-based businesses versus product-based business. And so when it comes down to being a service-based business, it's going to be a business that you create something out of thin air. You may use a few tools to be able to make it happen, but in the end, your knowledge and understanding is what created the product. So you can be a barber, for example. You have people sit in your chair, they come in with a jacked up head of hair, and you turn it into something fantastic and wonderful. And that's a skill. And so once you've done clipping with the clippers, they're good to go. But that individual is paid for the service, and you didn't have to put any more money into it than paying for your booth and paying for your clippers, maybe one time or whatever it might be. Even if you do something as simple as cutting grass, lawns, that's a service as well. But the most difficult businesses to try to make money on and turn a profit are always going to be anything that's going to be product based. So if you're buying items wholesale and you're trying to turn around and sell them and make money on them, you're going to have to be able to make enough money to cover the cost of the product as it sits on your shelf. And if consumers don't want to buy it, the only way you can get them to buy it is reduce the price. And that cuts into your final bottom line. And then most importantly, if you can't buy new product, you can't continue your sales. So if you go into a store and they have nothing on the shelf, there's nothing to buy, there's no way that you're going to be able to make money. So you're always going to be in this constant cycle of sell, reduce, and rebuy. And so either you sell it to full price, you reduce it till somebody buys it, then you have to turn around and try to buy new inventory, and so it's a very difficult cycle to get caught up in, and so like I said, let me just check one last time here and see if TikTok is still here. So it looks like it is. So
We have the big size.
When I was 12 years old, I wrote a love letter to a grown man who was my camp counselor.
Oop, not good. These are those translation headphones. And this is one of those Chinese spy TikTok goodbye videos. So people always find a way to monetize and make great content. Very creative people. So shouts out to them. At least for now. The band doesn't seem like it kicked in at 8:30, and unless I'm wrong about the time, but it said 8:30 p.m. Eastern on 1/18. They were going to shut everything down. The time has come and gone, and we are now sitting at 9 o'clock. So TikTok looks like it is still here, but like I said, regardless of it being here or not being here, the impact of what I said here is still the same, and so the folks that are still on the platform right now are still on pins and needles as they wait to determine if their revenue streams will be ended. And then even on top of that, at some point down the road, if TikTok decides to stay and these people continue to build their businesses, they can change the way that they pay them. They can cut the AdSense rates down to in half, and then cut those down in half and half again, where the majority of the money will stay with TikTok and not get pushed down to the creators. What do? And so this is just kind of a wake-up call and a warning call to anybody in any type of business to take the time to look at your business and quickly measure where your risk is and try to figure out ways that you can go about mitigating those. And don't be stuck just waiting and hoping and praying that things don't fall apart, because it's only a matter of time before they do. So that's my advice to you guys for sure. And we're not mourning the loss of TikTok right now, which is great. And I think tonight when I'm laying in the bed and I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm thinking like, well, I'm not really sleepy, but I should probably lay here to get a few more hours of sleep in. I'm going to reach over to my phone and look at my app and see if TikTok is still going. And hopefully it will be, So that's it, guys. I'll go ahead and wrap everything up. And, just remember when it comes down to it, you don't want to get stuck up on the wrong side of a band. And we're all going to have to find our own way in these next 4 years, the next 8 years, the next 4 years as the administration changes, there's a lot of things that are being talked about. All of us are going to have to find our own way. There's no guarantee that anything that we've done before in the past will continue to work. So don't just be consumed by negativity. Always try to work around it, and don't also get caught like a deer in the headlights. And just remember, like I said, no one is coming to save any of us. We're all responsible for where our lives will be. And if they're great, take credit for it. And if there's failures, take credit for those as well, and learn to do things better. That's it, guys. So we'll go ahead and pop out of here. I just want to jump on real quick. And my goal this year is to try to do a lot more videos, and so this is something I've kind of gotten away from doing, and I'm close to being monetized on YouTube, and I want to start pushing out just regular videos, to be able to try to see if I can get over the hump, and then experiments with some different content and some different ways I'll be going about this. But I appreciate you guys sticking in here and staying to the very end of this video. It's always appreciated. Please make sure you guys like and subscribe to this video. And, I don't think I have anything else to say here. So take care, guys. We'll be, like I said, like and subscribe, hit that bell, so when the next video comes out, you'll be notified about it. That's it. Take care, and I will see you guys again in the next video. All right, guys. Peace. Oh. Take care.